everyone, Chivos here, bringing my Hyundai A-League weekly review of the Week 5 fixtures. And one thing is to note, we did have the FFA Cup final this weekend, but that will be shown in another video. I will review that separately because obviously that is a big deal, and it is a big deal for me if you know what I mean. But obviously we do have 4 games to cover this weekend that happen in the Hyundai A-League. So let's get into things. The first game of the weekend saw Melbourne City take on Adelaide United, and they managed to beat them in a 4-2 win away from home in a 6-goal thriller. 6 goals, I could not believe it. It was exceptional start to the weekend's football, and it was played on the Thursday as well. Eric Pardlew opened the scoring for Melbourne City in the 8th minute after an Aaron Moy corner found him at the front post. Pardlew managed to head the ball in to give City an early lead. He leapt like a salmon, Mr. Pardlew, and he deserved the goal. You know, he finally got his way back into the first team and he scored a goal. So good work there for Pardlew. Can't really complain about that whatsoever. But then Aaron Moy, the man, the myth, the legend, the playmaker, scored the second goal for Melbourne City 10 minutes before half time. He shot from the edge of the box, the ball rattled the crossbar and ended up in the back of the net. It was a great finish from Aaron Moy, and what else do you expect from the Socceroo? But then Fornaroli added a third goal to City's total 10 minutes after the break by using his footwork. You know, he's got quick feet, but then he managed to slide the ball past John Hall, and in this case it's 3-0 Melbourne City, and they are comfortably winning. And obviously, you know, Adelaide haven't been in the best of form either, especially since Gombau left. But then Sirio got one back for Adelaide after finding space inside the box and curling the ball into the bottom corner. So it's 3-1. A comeback was possible, but what can I say? Fornaroli quickly cancelled out Adelaide's consolation by scoring City's 4th goal. Harry Nivillo played the ball past the Adelaide defence, which managed to find Fornaroli, who slotted the ball past Hall once again. So Fornaroli scoring a brace again. Good work there from Fornaroli. But Adelaide United obviously have some defending issues they need to focus on, and Sanchez scored the final goal of the game for Adelaide United by putting a penalty past Sorensen, but it was merely a consolation goal. 4-2 the final result. Another good win for Melbourne City, which sees them climb the table, while Adelaide United are still winless this season. That is ridiculous. Considering how well they did last year, they did win the FFA Cup, now they are winless. The second game of the weekend saw a 0-0 draw between Sydney FC and Brisbane Roar in the top of the table clash. Both teams have been dominating this season, and unfortunately there was not a goal. Defence was on point during this game. Only 2 shots on target for the whole fixture, which shows you how good the defences worked in both games. Probably the best chance of the game went to Brisbane Roar when McLaren came close in the second half, but Ryan Grant made an excellent tackle to deny him, and the draw does see Sydney FC the only team unbeaten in the A-League after 5 rounds. So Sydney FC off to a flyer, and what else do you expect? The third game of the weekend, so Western Sydney Wanderers beat Newcastle Jets 2-1 away from home in quite a shock result, I thought. You know, Newcastle did open the scoring late in the game, and Newcastle have been in great form. They did open the scoring late, and I thought, you know, Newcastle have got this. You know, why wouldn't they? But Andreu gave a reckless foul in a dangerous area. Lee Key, the defender, stepped up over the dead ball, fired it into the crossbar, and Aldovic reacted the quickest and tapped the ball into the back of the net for Newcastle, and it was 1-0. But then Western Sydney Wanderers mounted their comeback because the lead did not last long. Western Sydney got on back a short time later, and Trifunovic fouled Santlab in the box and gave away a penalty. Andreu stepped up to take the penalty and sent Birighetti, the wrong way to make it 1-1. But then Western Sydney Wanderers scored another goal late on when Mitch Nichols scored from outside the box while Western Sydney Wanderers were pressing forward. They were throwing men forward to score. They know they need results, and they managed to get one over Newcastle. Newcastle could have been on top of the ladder with a win for maybe the third time in the club's history, but it didn't happen. Unfortunately for Newcastle, they couldn't do it, and Western Sydney Wanderers managed to beat them. But then the final game of the weekend saw a 1-1 draw between Central Coast Mariners and Wellington Phoenix. McGlinchey opened up the scoring for Wellington during a good counter-attack. Krishna receives the ball, he runs down the right wing, then plays the ball into McGlinchey. McGlinchey was open in the middle of the pitch. He cuts inside, beats Jake McGing before curling his shot past a helpless Paul Izzo. A good finish there from McGlinchey. But then Central Coast did manage to score. They left it late, but they scored. Well, it's not late. It's 76 minutes. It's late enough, and Wellington couldn't get one back. So O'Donovan made he scored from a header after doing his marker. So the corner was given. He's scored the header. It's gone over the top of Moss, and it managed to go into the back of the net. So very, very unfortunate there for Wellington not to pick up the win. Central Coast really, really needed some points. As I've stated here, it's a good result for the Mariners, which sees them pick up their first point since the opening weekend. So a good result there for the Mariners, especially leaving it late to score. But the FFA Cup final I will cover in another video, which did see my team Melbourne Victory take on Perth Glory, and their match that was scheduled for this weekend has been rescheduled until December 16th, I think it is, on a Wednesday night. So once again, I will cover that game as well. But let me know, how do you think your team went? Leave a comment in the section below. I'd like to know how you think your team performed, and who do you think were the best performers of the weekend. Obviously, Fornaroli's got to be up there for me. He scored a brace, but now it's time to show you the ladder. So as I said here, on the A-League ladder, Sydney FC topped the table on 11 points, followed closely by Brisbane Roar on 10. Obviously, they had their draw, a 0-0 draw over the weekend, so a very good results for both teams there. Newcastle Jets still see themselves sitting in third position after 5 games on 9 points. Melbourne Victory obviously did not play this weekend due to the FFA Cup final, but they are still on 7 points in 4th place with 4 games. A game in hand could see them push up to 2nd. Melbourne City do climb the table into 5th position on 7 points as well. So the Western Sydney Wanderers climb up the table on 7 points. Wellington Phoenix do drop down the table, but still on 7 points. So 4 teams on 7 points. That is good there. Central Coast Mariners are currently in 8th position, only 4 points, but the point was a very, very good point that they needed. Perth Glory see themselves in 9th place. Obviously, they did not play this weekend due to the FFA Cup final, so the game in hand is good for them, but will only see them push 1 point up the table. And Adelaide United, still winless, the only winless team in the A-League so far this season, with 2 points and a -7 goal difference. A very, very leaky defence. Their best defenders in the league by far, Sydney FC and then Melbourne Victory. But we'll show you now the top goal scorers on the right hand side here. Bruno Fornaroli does lead with 5, Barello on 4, Roy O'Donovan with 3, Trifunovic and Bessa Brisha also with 3. But Fornaroli leading the goal scoring charts this season so far. Most assists, Aaron Moy up there, the playmaker with 3, Brosk, Ferreira, Williams and Garcia all with 2. Most saves is Thomas Sorensen. What do you expect? The Melbourne City goalkeeper proving his worth and proving why he was a Premier League player. 20 saves, Birighetti 2nd, Kovic in 3rd, Liam Reddy and then Paul Izzo. But that is it for today. Leave a like if you have enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Hyundai A-League content. and I'll catch you guys on another Hyundai A-League video.